Hello everybody, it is mrjpickles here, and today I'm going to be going over Abathur. Now, I am not playing this game currently. This is a game I played a couple days ago, and I really just liked the play style of the game. I really tested, or this is when I was like using the team helper build, which will be in my guide. I'll put the link below. And I really just kind of want to go over the build, what the goals are, what you're trying to do, and just really explain Abathur as best as I can. I also took some questions from you guys on my Twitter, so I'll try and throw a few of those in there. But let's go over the players real quick. We got Optimus Prime on Tychus, Ruby on Vala, Strife on Stitches, Dr. Serb on the Thrall, and Anatoxin on Lily. And then on my team, we've got mrjpickles, which is I on Abathur, Sleepyhead on the Nova, Prime Time on the Arthas, Keepers on the Malfurion, and Atrocity on the Illidan. Now, the point of this build is to basically be symbiote based. Now, your symbiote is your hat that you put on heroes, and you get 3 abilities: Stab, which is a directional single target hit damage ability; Burst, which is an AoE area around you damage ability; and then a shield called Carapace that shields people. Now, over the talents, I'll go over the talents as the game goes along. For level 1, I picked up Regenerative Microbes. Now, I find it's a very nice talent that can really help your teammates out. It's not a whole lot of healing, but it used to be a tier 3 talent, and now it's a tier 1 talent. So, I really like it. I think there's a lot of benefit to it, as you can help regen your allies' health, but then also there's some cool applications of it, like on Cursed Hollow. When you get cursed, all your minions go to 1 health. Now, if you do the talent combination of Regenerative Microbes, Sustained Carapace, and Networked Carapace, you can basically shield entire minion waves, and they'll gain a shield and regen their health. So it's really cool, but let's focus on this game. So right now, the temples have activated, and you can see that I moved up. I moved up in the lane to soak it, and I knew that I'd be safe because the enemy team is going to want to capture these other points, the temples, to deal damage to our forts and walls and stuff. So moving up is a really smart thing to do, but you have to be smart about it. You can't just go up all willy-nilly. Like if I was to move up here, I'd basically be asking for death, because that's where the enemy team's really going to be. So down bot, there's nothing here. Everything is focused on the top half of the map. So it's really good to try and soak up XP like this. Now, currently, I'm not throwing any hats on my teammates, which is kind of bad on my part. I should have been doing that earlier, but I was trying to soak up the mid lane XP. So right now, you can see we have a slight experience lead. We did get 2 kills. We're 2 kills above them, sorry, which will help. And we have walls down, but so do they. So it's kind of like, it gets you a little lead. It's not much, but soaking experience is really, really important. So as you can tell, I shielded Keepers there, gave him a little shield, let him get some health back. I see Nova's in trouble. Shield her. She'll start regenning. 17 health per, which is pretty nice, but she will not get away. And right now, I'm still soaking at bot lane. I'm pushing the towers, causing them to lose ammo, which will help eventually push the lane in. No, I can't save him. That's a 3v1. There was no way that was going to happen. But during all this, I was able to soak mid, which, there you go. You can see my little weird Abathur squid rabbit hat thing. Trying to push and soak the lane. And then a bot lane, the towers are all out of ammo. This is really important because it allows your minions, which are basically going to be the brunt force of damage, do that damage and really push down the towers, because your Locusts, they're good and they can do a lot of damage and they can clear minion waves, but you have to spec into it. And since you're down a body as an Abathur player, it's really, I really think the team helper build is probably one of the best builds, because it basically puts a 5th body there without it actually being there. It's really cool. So let's see, level 7 hits for us. I went Adrenal Overload into Needle Spine. Now, Adrenal Overload gives the host that has Symbiote just on them a 25% attack speed increase, and then Needle Spine increases the damage and range of Symbiote Stab. Now, the goal here is, since we have an Arthas and since we have an Illidan with attack speed is amazing, and since he'll be right on the enemy, having that extra attack speed not only helps his sustainability, but it just, I mean, it's more damage, more heals, more everything. I could put it on Nova, she'll attack faster. I could put it on Arthas, he can attack faster. I mean, the level 4 talent doesn't really have too much, and unless you plan on going networked Carapace, there's no real point in going sustained Carapace, I find. It's kind of a, you take one talent and you go for the other, you know? Now, as you can see, the bottom temple has been shown to be activated, so I did what I did before. Top half of the map is wide open and free, not going to be pressured, which allows me to try and push this fort. So I sit here, but I symbiote down here. So basically our 5th one body is soaking experience, while I'm giving a hat to my 4 other teammates to try and help them. Sitting on Atrocity, trying to help him sustain himself, keep himself alive with some shields, regen, and attack speed. Unfortunately, he falls. Lots of damage coming out on him, but we were able to trade 1 for 1. Now, Abathur, a lot of people have recently, especially when I've been playing him, have been saying he's not good, he's bad, if you want to lose, play him. Like, everybody really hates Abathur, but he's really strong and really underestimated, I think. His ability isn't really, like, the team has to play well if you have an Abathur on your team. Because the thing with Abathur is, you're a body down, which is pretty huge. But if you play properly, they're like, let your team poke them down with the hat, or they just have like some pretty strong carries. Abathur's amazing because you just accentuate their power. Some heroes I like are Raynor. He's amazingly strong with an Abathur, especially with Adrenal Overload. If you go some melee heavy heroes, you can really do some hurt. At level 20, I really like Hive Mind. It's when you get 2 different symbiote hats. As long as they're in range, you symbiote one person, another person will get that symbiote. So it's super strong and just allows for a lot. Now, as you can see, he has a shield and he has increased attack speed. He wasn't able to survive the strafe, but I mean, he was able to take a lot of damage that he probably wouldn't have been able to do before. No, Nova's running away, barely gets away. I stopped hatting them, and I think I was more focusing on mid and top. I'm trying to take this down, and as you can see, it's pretty low health, very low mana though, or ammo. So eventually we're pushing it. Now, I'm doing my job just for the fact that I'm sitting in a lane, I'm soaking, I'm pushing, and I'm also being able to help my team. The thing with Abathur is you have to be very map aware, because if somebody finds you, you're probably gonna die really quickly. So you have to make sure you're safe. You have to place toxic nests in locations where you think enemies are gonna be trying to go to slow them down or give you prior warning of, hey, you're about to be attacked. So like right here would be a nice location to put a toxic nest. Maybe, because since we have this sight stone, that gives me all this vision right here. So I don't have to worry about toxic nesting it. But maybe, you know, right here could be decent. Just up here to see if anybody's trying to wrap around. You could play it pretty safe. You could definitely put some toxic nests all around the map. Now, for my ultimate, I did go Ultimate Evolution. I've been messing around with Monstrosity and Ultimate Evolution. Ooh, bad team fight for us. And Monstrosity is good, but it has very little health. I have a question from Knowledgeless. His question is, legends say that Abathur will lose to Azmodan in a base race, though both have global abilities. Are they balanced? I believe they are both balanced. They both do have global abilities. Azmodan's is just a promote though, like a little buff to the minion push, whereas Abathur is just his symbiote map presence. Now they both have different applications. Azmodan will help push lanes, Abathur will help team fights and push lanes. So they're both balanced because Abathur's Locusts aren't the strongest, and they're only a Locust. It doesn't buff the minion waves. It's just his Locust, so that's something important to know. But he also asked if Monstrosity eats... Legends says... Oh, Knowledgeless. Legends says if Monstrosity eats 3 waves, it's good. How do you keep it alive without skipping out on supporting the team? That's the difficult part. most of the time, if you place it properly, monstrosity will soak up a lot. So it's tough because that means you have to let a minion wave stack, but the monstrosity isn't gonna really survive unless you help it. Meaning you sit there, give it toxic nests, or locust strains, or you symbiote it, shield it, stab and burst, like try and do damage. So how do you keep it alive without skipping out on supporting the team? It's difficult. Most of the time you just place it and leave it, and you should do fine. I don't really like the talent too much. I've been messing with it, and I find that Master Evolution, or Evolution Master, I don't know which way it goes, is the better talent. You can help everybody out. You put another body on the field, and it's a nice get out of jail free card. So if somebody were to attack you, you can burrow and run away. Now, it was a little bit of a bad exchange. I noticed that the enemy team is getting really close to here. As you can see, Tychus, well, I thought he was gonna check there, but they were getting close, so burrow away. You gotta be aware of, oh my gosh, he is just adorable. Oh, so cute. You have to be aware of where the enemy team is, like I was saying earlier. Now, we got the top fort. We symbioted down. We're able to help finish off that mid fort. Now is where it gets tricky. You have to push over onto the enemy side of the map. So you have to be really safe and cautious of where they are. Now, seeing 4 here, I could be a little bit aggressive and move down here to try and start pushing that. My Locusts don't really make it too far across. By the time they get to the wall, they're almost dead. So it's more of a ammo soak, if anything. End up going to top to try and help push this back, allowing my teammates to focus elsewhere on the map. They're in a little bit of a pickle. So they'll have to run away. Yet again, the temples are on the bot side, on the bot half of the map, so I can push forward and try and, you know, apply map pressure that way. Let me just take a sip of my water. Let me bring up the talents as well. So, I went Ultimate Evolution. Master Evolution is the level 20. Level 13, I went Spatial Efficiency. And then level 16, I went Envenom Spikes. Now, the reasoning behind Spatial Efficiency, so wrong, is because I plan on symbioting for a long time, meaning instead of doing the symbiote trick where you symbiote, stab, burst, carapace, and then drop it, I plan on sitting on the symbioted person for a long time, meaning I'll stab, shield, burst, stab, burst, shield. Like, I'm gonna be using all the abilities because at level 20, I plan on going Hive Mind, which will then be 2 symbioted hats, and it's kind of important to make sure that you can get 2 people and stay on them for a while. The level 16 talent Envenom Spikes, instead of getting the speed boost, I went for the slow, because with Arthas and Illidan, mainly Illidan, he can stick to people really well, so he doesn't need the speed boost. If you can slow them, he'll just sit there and attack with that attack speed, so it's more beneficial to get a slow rather than a speed boost, because he's still gonna have to chase him down. And with a slow also, the enemy team is stuck, and they're trying to run away, but they can't, so they end up dying. I just like it a lot more in this situation. Sometimes when I wouldn't take it would be if we had a Stitches, or if it was just the Arthas, because since he already has an AoE slow, no real point in adding another slow to him. As you can see, I put the symbiote on Illidan. Arthas was a little bit too deep, and I burrowed to bot lane. I know nobody's here. As you can see, with the long time of symbiote that I have, I was able to save up a lot of toxic nests. This is one thing you'll notice you'll probably do with Abathur, and so it's important to try and use them as much as you can. Now, I have to be careful. I see the Thrall, and boom. Evolution. So I went and cloned the Malfurion at top lane because I was in trouble. Now, the thing that he could have done was just sit here and guard my body, because right there, my evolution died and he was nowhere near. It's a great escape because it's such a quick cast time. It can be interrupted, but it's a nice escape in case you're in trouble just to pop it. Now it does suck. I won't have it for the temples, but I'm able to survive, which I think surviving is more important than, you know, dying and not having anything at all to do on the map. Going back to base just to get more health so I don't have to worry, and we went ahead and burrowed back up to here to try and push this lane down. It's a little bit difficult once the game reaches into the later stages because you have to push so aggressively. So you really have to play smart, be careful, and really try and have the information of where the enemy team is. So I know there's a couple people up here. Well, I know that the temples are activated, so most of them should be up here. Some of your biggest enemies, such as Falstad or Zeratul, they may see your Locusts spawning here and may fly down just to get a quick pick. You have to be aware of that and be safe. If you see the Falstad is in the fight, then you're probably safe and you're able to go down there and be a little bit aggressive, you know. But if you notice Falstad isn't there, then, well, you may want to be aware that he could be looking at you and you could be in deep doo-doo. So as this fight goes on, Kiefer's does not make it. I have the hat on Illidan, and you can see right here, this is how it's a 2v2, but since I'm spec'd in so much damage with the Abathur, that he's able to do significant damage. He just took out 3 people. That hat, plus Illidan, plus the Malfurion heals, like, it was just a great combination attack with all 3 of us. So, can't underestimate the Abathur hat. If your teammates know how Abathur works and know how to play around with it, you can decimate enemies. Now, level 20, as you can see, whoop, Hive Mind. Casting Symbiote creates an additional Symbiote on a nearby allied hero. The Symbiote mimics the command of the first. If the second host moves too far away, it is destroyed. So this is where Needle Spine and regenerative microbes, as well as high adrenal overload and spatial efficiency and venom spikes, like everything symbioted comes together. Because since there's 2 hats, you can slow down 2 different enemies. You can stab somebody. By the time you get level 20, 1 stab, if 2 symbioted hats both stab at the same time, you do, I think, like 538 damage. And that's just 1 stab, and you basically get 4 charges on 1 hat. You have 8 charges that you can just stab, 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 stab. So it's a lot of damage. And if your teammates can work around with that, you can really, really hurt people. Like, it's a lot of damage. Going back to the whole being careful of people coming after you, Shot Hots at @shot_hots on Twitter. Shots asked me, who is your favorite person to play against as Abathur and why is it Shot? Is it because he hunts you? Now, there's a lot of people that hunt me. One person that hunts me a lot is Faye from Team EG. She, whenever she plays Falstad, always hunts me down, and I have to be super careful and aware of that. There's been some funny battles between the 2 of us, like, she'll catch me or I'll actually kill her as Abathur. It's just a mind game and it's really funny. I like going against anybody that wants to come after my Abathur. It's just entertaining to try and have people come after you and try and chase you down and kill you, because, I mean, you're Abathur. It's a challenge for them just to get to you, and it's a challenge for you to kill them. So, as you can see, we're ending the game right now. We were able to kill them all. I hope that some of the information I gave you guys about the Abathur helps, and I hope you can better learn to play with the Abathur, as well as play as the Abathur, or hey, maybe even play against the Abathur. If you guys have any questions, please ask below in the comments, or mention it on Twitter, Facebook, come into my stream and ask me, and then on my guide as well. Everything will be linked below. Check everything out, especially mrjpickles.com. I will be posting guides there and tons of other stuff there as well, such as my YouTube videos, and I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So thank you all again for watching this. I hope it helped you out. Have a great day, evening, night, whatever time zone it is for you, and make sure it makes sense. Thank you all. Take care.